There is something deeply freeing about the moment you realize that chasing someone who has already walked away is not only futile, but also unnecessary. It's a shift in perspective, a break from the endless cycle of hope and disappointment that traps so many men in the past. When she walked away, it was not a failure of yours to hold on to or fix, but rather a signal to step into a new phase of your life, one where your worth is not determined by someone else's presence or absence. The instinct to chase comes from a place of fear and insecurity. It whispers that if you don't keep running after her, you might lose something irreplaceable. But the truth is, when someone leaves, it's often because they have already made their choice, and trying to pull them back only pulls you away from yourself. Chasing her puts you on a path where your value becomes dependent on someone else's changing feelings and unpredictable actions, and that's a dangerous place to build your life from. Instead of chasing, you must focus on replacing. Replace her, not with another person just to fill a void, but replace the energy you spent on waiting and hoping with the energy you invest in your own growth and happiness. This is about reclaiming control, about becoming a man who moves forward with intention and strength rather than looking back with regret. To replace her means to redirect your focus inward. It's time to ask yourself, what are the things I've neglected while trying to hold on? What dreams, goals, and parts of myself have I put on pause? This moment of loss is also a moment of opportunity. When you choose to replace the energy of chasing with the energy of becoming, you build a foundation so solid that no one else's departure can shake it. And this transformation is not just external, it's deeply internal. The process of replacing involves healing old wounds and addressing your fears about abandonment and worthiness. It means working on your mindset, challenging the stories you tell yourself about why she left and what that means about you. Too often men fall into the trap of self-blame or bitterness, but true growth comes from compassion for yourself and the willingness to rise above those narratives. By replacing her presence with your own presence, stronger, wiser, more focused, you shift the dynamic completely. You stop waiting for validation and start giving it to yourself. Your confidence begins to grow, not because someone else affirmed it, but because you've earned it through commitment to your own path. And as you grow, you naturally attract positive energy and new opportunities that align with your true value. This replacement is a declaration that you will not settle for less than you deserve. It's the moment you decide that your happiness and success will no longer be tied to the unpredictability of someone else's decisions. It is about becoming the man who commands respect through self-respect, who pursues his goals relentlessly, and who knows that the right people will come into his life at the right time without desperation or chasing. In doing so, you create space for authentic connections rather than clinging to what was. You learn that real love and respect come when you are whole on your own, not when you're dependent on someone else to fill your gaps. And in this space, your energy becomes magnetic. People are drawn to your strength, your clarity, and your self-assuredness. The man who replaces is the man who no one can walk away from without regret. Replacing her is also about embracing your freedom. It's about choosing to live life on your own terms, not dictated by loss or absence. It's about creating a future where your happiness and success are your priorities and where you lead with the confidence that you have the power to build, grow, and thrive regardless of who stays or goes. This journey isn't always easy. It requires courage to face loneliness, to confront old habits, and to build new routines. But the reward is a life of purpose and strength that no heartbreak can undo. You become someone who moves forward with grace and determination, leaving behind the pain of chasing and stepping into the power of replacing. And when you live like this, you not only heal, but you also evolve. You become a man who understands that love and respect are not things to beg for or chase. They are things to cultivate within yourself first, And once you do, everything else falls into place naturally. The moment you stop chasing and start replacing, you reclaim your life, your peace, and your future. This is where true freedom begins. There is a powerful lesson that comes with understanding why you should never waste your time chasing someone who has already walked away. When she leaves, it's not a game you need to win by running after her, but a call to refocus your energy where it truly matters, on yourself. The truth is, chasing after her only keeps you tied to the past, stuck in a loop of hoping and waiting for something that's already gone. And this hope, as tempting as it feels, is a trap. It prevents you from moving forward and becoming the man you're meant to be. Chasing someone who has chosen to walk away creates a dangerous imbalance. It puts you in a position where your value depends on her changing feelings, her decisions, and her willingness to return. But the reality is, people leave for reasons that often have nothing to do with you personally. They leave because they are no longer aligned with the journey you are on, or because they have made a choice to seek something different. Accepting this can be painful, but it is also freeing. Once you accept it, you stop trying to control what is beyond your control, and you begin to take back your power. The moment you decide not to chase is the moment you begin to respect yourself deeply. You acknowledge that your time, your effort, and your emotions are precious and deserve to be invested wisely. This is not about being cold or indifferent. It's about setting healthy boundaries and valuing your own worth. When you chase, you diminish your value because you send the message that your happiness depends on someone who doesn't prioritize you. But when you stop chasing, you say loud and clear, I am worthy of respect and I will not beg for love or attention. This shift is essential for true growth. It forces you to turn inward and work on the parts of yourself that you may have neglected. Instead of focusing on what you've lost, you focus on what you can build. This means dedicating time to your goals, your passions, your health, and your mindset. It means investing in the man you want to become, not the man she thought she had. This internal work is where real transformation happens because it is sustainable and empowering. Not chasing also means embracing patience and faith in your own journey. You learn that sometimes the best way to attract the right people is to become the right person first. By focusing on your growth and self-improvement, you raise your standards, and in doing so, you create space for relationships that are truly healthy and fulfilling. You no longer settle for less because you understand your value. You no longer tolerate disrespect or uncertainty because you know what you deserve. When you stop chasing, you also give yourself permission to heal properly. Chasing keeps you in emotional turmoil, constantly swinging between hope and despair. But when you accept that someone is left and choose to move forward, you create space for healing. You allow yourself to process your emotions, learn from the experience, and build resilience. This resilience is what makes you stronger, wiser, and ready for whatever comes next. Furthermore, not chasing her changes the entire dynamic of your relationship, even if she returns. When you stop chasing, you show strength and self-control. You show that your life does not revolve around her presence. This confidence can make her see you in a new light. Someone who is independent, grounded, and in command of his own destiny. Whether she comes back or not, you have won because you have won yourself. It's important to understand that replacing chasing with patience and self-investment does not mean you close yourself off to love or connection. Instead, it means you open yourself to the possibility of a better future, one where your relationships are based on mutual respect, shared values, and genuine affection, rather than neediness or fear. This future is not built on trying to hold on to what was, but on creating something new, powerful, and lasting. This is a process that requires self-awareness and courage. It means looking honestly at your feelings and habits and making conscious choices to change them. It means facing moments of loneliness without panic and seeing them as opportunities for growth. It means understanding that your worth is not tied to someone else's presence, but is inherent and unchanging. When you stop chasing, you reclaim your freedom. You no longer live in reaction to someone else's decisions, but live proactively in alignment with your values and goals. This freedom is liberating. It allows you to explore who you are without the pressure of needing to prove yourself to someone else. It allows you to cultivate peace, joy, and fulfillment from within. Ultimately, the decision not to chase is a declaration of self-respect and self-love. It is a commitment to honoring your own journey, your dreams, and your happiness. It is a powerful step toward becoming the man who no longer fears loss because he knows his value is unshakable. This is how you truly win, not by chasing what's gone, but by building what's next. When she walks away, it's natural to feel a surge of emotions, confusion, anger, sadness, and even desperation. But the key to overcoming this moment lies not in chasing her back, but in cultivating indifference. This doesn't mean becoming cold or uncaring. It means detaching your emotional well-being from her actions and choices. Indifference is the power to remain steady, calm, and focused on your life, regardless of what she does or doesn't do. It's the emotional armor that protects you from being tossed around by feelings that threaten to consume you. Indifference starts with understanding that your happiness and self-worth should never be dependent on someone else's approval or presence. When you stop chasing, you take back control of your emotional state. You stop giving her the power to make you feel desperate or incomplete. This is not about pretending you don't care. It's about genuinely caring for yourself more than you care about trying to win someone back. When you reach this point, you create a space where your emotions are governed by your own values and not by the fear of losing her. The beauty of indifference is that it disarms any control she might have had over you. When a woman senses that you are unaffected by her leaving, it breaks the script she might have expected, that you'd beg, chase, or plead. Instead, your calm detachment creates a new dynamic. You become someone who values himself enough not to tolerate uncertainty or disrespect. This silent strength commands respect without needing to raise your voice or prove your worth through disparate action. Developing indifference requires deep inner work. It means learning to recognize and challenge the thoughts that keep you hooked to the past. The mind loves to replay memories and what-ifs, but you must learn to redirect your focus toward the present and future. Practice mindfulness and self-awareness to catch yourself slipping into old patterns of longing or resentment. By grounding yourself in the now and embracing the reality of the situation, you gradually weaken the emotional grip she has on you. Indifference also means investing your time and energy into things that fulfill you and bring joy. When you immerse yourself in personal growth, hobbies, friendships, and goals, your life becomes rich and vibrant without her. This fullness makes indifference not just a defense mechanism, but a natural state of being. You are so busy becoming your best self that her absence doesn't leave a void, but simply an empty chair in a room that's still full of life. It's important to clarify that indifference doesn't mean bitterness or resentment. These emotions keep you trapped in the pain of loss and often lead to unhealthy behavior. Indifference, on the other hand, is peaceful acceptance combined with unshakable self-respect. It's the recognition that her leaving says more about her path than your value. You understand that relationships are mutual, and if she walked away, it was not because you lacked worth, but because the connection was no longer right. When you embody true indifference, you also protect yourself from the emotional roller coaster of hoping for her return. This hope is a sneaky trap that keeps you chained to the past, always waiting for a change that may never come. Indifference frees you from this waiting game. It empowers you to keep moving forward, to keep growing, and to keep living fully without the constant distraction of what might have been. This emotional strength can also have a surprising effect on her. When a woman sees that you are thriving without her, that you're moving forward with purpose and confidence, it often triggers a deep sense of regret. She begins to realize what she left behind. a man who is not only capable, but resilient and self-reliant. This realization is not something you need to force or manipulate. It simply happens naturally when you focus on your own journey instead of trying to control hers. Indifference is also about protecting your peace. After someone leaves, it's easy to get caught in a cycle of emotional turmoil, replaying old wounds and reopening scars. But by choosing indifference, you close the door on unnecessary suffering. You refuse to let her absence dominate your thoughts or dictate your feelings. You prioritize your mental and emotional health, understanding that peace is your most valuable asset. Cultivating this mindset doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, patience, and consistent effort. It means learning to be alone without feeling lonely, finding contentment within yourself, and embracing your independence fully. It means setting boundaries, not just with her, but with your own mind, and refusing to entertain thoughts that pull you back into pain or longing. At its core, indifference is a radical act of self-love. It says, I am enough on my own. My happiness is not tied to anyone else's presence. I will live my life on my terms, and I will not be shaken by loss. This mindset shifts your energy completely and sets you free to build a future that is not dependent on anyone but yourself. And when you live from this place of indifference, calm, strong, and centered, you open the door to genuine happiness and success. You become magnetic, attracting the right people and opportunities because you are whole, not because you are seeking to fill a void. This is the ultimate form of power after loss, and it is the foundation of a life lived with dignity and purpose. True indifference is not the absence of feeling, it is the mastery over your feelings. It is choosing to rise above pain and disappointment and to keep moving forward with grace and confidence. And in this, you find freedom that no chasing could ever give you. This is how you win the moment she walks away, not by running after her, but by standing tall and walking forward without looking back. There is a profound truth that often goes unspoken when someone walks away from you. The best way to regain your power and rewrite your story is not by fighting to bring them back, but by focusing fiercely on becoming the man she once admired, or perhaps the man she never quite got to know. When she leaves, it's a moment of reckoning, a crossroads where you can either spiral into despair or rise above and transform your pain into unstoppable. What makes this journey so powerful is that it's not about proving anything to her. It's not about revenge or proving that you're better without her. It's about reclaiming your life, your purpose, and your identity with such intensity and clarity that nothing else can distract you. This kind of focus is magnetic. It draws success, confidence, and respect toward you naturally. And in that process, it ignites a fire within that no one can extinguish. When you commit to becoming the best version of yourself after she walks away, you send a powerful message. Not just to her, but to yourself. You tell yourself that your worth is independent of anyone else's validation. You acknowledge your mistakes, learn from them, and take full responsibility for your growth. This is the foundation of true strength, the kind that doesn't rely on external approval, but comes from within. It's a silent revolution inside you that changes everything. This transformation begins with clarity. You need to understand exactly who you want to become, not just superficially, but at a deep, fundamental level. What values will you embody? What habits will you develop? What goals will you pursue relentlessly? This clarity gives you a roadmap and a sense of direction that makes distraction and despair irrelevant. Every day becomes an opportunity to move closer to that ideal version of yourself. As you focus on your growth, your confidence will start to rebuild naturally. Confidence isn't something you fake. It's something you earn through consistent action and self-discipline. Whether it's improving your physical health, expanding your skills, or cultivating emotional intelligence, each step forward is a victory. These victories accumulate and create a momentum that is hard to stop. You start to see yourself not as someone broken or abandoned, but as someone powerful and in control of his destiny. Another crucial aspect of this focus is the way it reshapes your mindset about relationships. When you dedicate yourself to becoming the best version of you, you begin to attract people who match your energy and values. You stop settling for relationships that don't serve your growth or respect your worth. This shift is essential because it helps you build a life where love is a complement to your happiness, not the sole source of it. The more you invest in yourself, the less space you leave for regret or self-pity. It's easy to get trapped in a cycle of wondering what if or if only, but focusing on your own progress breaks those chains. You redirect your energy from dwelling on the past to creating your future. This future isn't built on hopes or empty promises. It's built on action, discipline, and vision. In this process, patience becomes your ally. Growth takes time, and setbacks are inevitable. But each setback is a lesson and an opportunity to recommit to your path with even greater resolve. The patience you cultivate is not passive waiting, it's active endurance. It's understanding that real change happens step by step, and that lasting transformation requires both persistence and faith in yourself. It's also important to surround yourself with positivity and support. When you focus on your own growth, you attract people who encourage you and challenge you to be better. This network becomes a source of strength and inspiration, reminding you that you're not alone in your journey. Their belief in you can fuel your own belief, creating a powerful cycle of motivation. As your focus sharpens, you'll notice your energy shifting in profound ways. You'll have more clarity about what truly matters and what doesn't. You'll be less distracted by drama, negativity, or external validation. This clarity allows you to operate at a higher level of performance in every area of your life: career, health, relationships, and personal fulfillment. Most importantly, this journey is about rediscovering your own identity outside of any relationship. It's about finding peace and purpose within yourself so that your happiness no longer depends on anyone else's presence. This kind of self-mastery is rare and invaluable. It turns you into a man who is unstoppable because his foundation is unshakable. And when she sees this transformation, the way you've risen from the ashes with relentless focus and unstoppable drive, she will inevitably regret leaving. Not because you forced it, but because you became someone she couldn't ignore or take for granted. Your success, confidence, and fulfillment become the silent proof of your worth. This is the ultimate power: winning without a fight, growing without resentment, and living fully without looking back. When you focus on becoming the best version of yourself, you don't just recover from loss, you transcend it. This is how you truly reclaim your life after she walks away, by turning your focus inward and forward, never back. When a woman leaves, it can feel like the world shifts beneath your feet, like a chapter closes abruptly, leaving you disoriented and unsure of what comes next. But there is one undeniable truth that emerges in the aftermath. The only way to heal and move forward is to stop waiting for her to come back. Waiting is a silent trap that drains your energy, clouds your mind, and stalls your life. Instead, the moment she walks away is the moment you must begin the most important journey towards your own freedom, growth, and self-discovery. Waiting for someone who has chosen to leave is often rooted in hope. The hope that she will realize what she lost, that she will change her mind, that the past can be undone. But hope without action is powerless, and it keeps you stuck in a painful loop. You find yourself replaying memories, analyzing every word and gesture, trying to find a way to turn back time. This mental and emotional limbo is exhausting, and it prevents you from living fully. The longer you wait, the more you give away your power. The truth is, healing begins the moment you decide to stop waiting. It begins when you accept that her choice to leave was not a mistake to be corrected by your persistence, but a decision that deserves respect, even if it hurts. Acceptance doesn't mean you don't care or that you won't feel pain. It means you stop fighting against reality and start fighting for yourself. You stop wasting your precious time chasing what's no longer there and start investing in the possibilities that lie ahead. When you stop waiting, you reclaim your time and energy, the two most valuable currencies in life. Instead of pouring your emotions into someone who isn't present, you redirect that energy inward. You focus on rebuilding your life, strengthening your mind, and nurturing your passions. This shift is transformative because it turns your attention from loss to creation. You become the architect of your future rather than a prisoner of your past. But one of the hardest parts of moving on is learning to live without the constant presence of someone who was once central to your world. But this absence creates space for self-reflection, space for growth, and space for new opportunities. You start to see yourself not as incomplete or broken, but as whole and capable. This realization is liberating because it breaks the illusion that your happiness depends on her. It teaches you that you are enough just as you are. Stopping waiting also means setting boundaries, not just with her, but with yourself. It means telling yourself firmly that you will no longer check her social media, replay old conversations, or wait by the phone for a call that may never come. These boundaries protect your peace and give you the clarity to focus on what truly matters. They allow you to live in the present moment instead of being chained to a past that no longer serves you. As you move forward, you begin to rebuild your confidence. You realize that your value is not diminished by her leaving. In fact, your courage to step away from waiting and step into your own power enhances your self-worth. This confidence becomes a beacon, attracting people and opportunities that align with your renewed sense of purpose. You start to understand that the right relationships, the ones that truly matter, come when you are strong and whole, not desperate or incomplete. This journey of letting go is not easy. It requires patience, persistence, and kindness toward yourself. You will face moments of doubt, loneliness, and sadness. But each time you resist the urge to wait and instead choose action, whether it's pursuing a new goal, connecting with friends, or simply taking care of your mental health, you reinforce your commitment to yourself. You prove that your life is bigger than any single relationship. Healing without waiting also teaches you resilience. You learn that life's greatest challenges can be stepping stones to your greatest growth. The pain of loss becomes a catalyst for transformation. You discover strengths you didn't know you had and develop a deeper understanding of who you are and what you want. This resilience is a lifelong gift because it equips you to face future hardships with grace and strength. Moreover, when you stop waiting and start living, you open yourself up to new experiences and possibilities. You become more present and engaged in your own life. You rediscover passions that might have been sidelined, rekindle friendships, and even find new love, not out of need, but out of abundance. This fullness of life makes the past feel less like a burden and more like a lesson that led you to a better place. In the end, the decision to stop waiting is the most powerful statement you can make, not just to her, but to yourself. It says, I am worthy of happiness now, not in some uncertain future. It says, my life will not be on hold for anyone. It says, I choose to move forward with strength, dignity, and hope. This choice frees you from the chains of uncertainty and longing. It allows you to embrace the present with open arms and an open heart. It transforms loss into liberation, pain into power, and waiting into winning. And when you finally stop waiting, you begin to live again, fully, freely, and on your own terms.